peace, quickly, think fast. Just realizing how, being judgmental can create duality in the essence. Basically being judgmental towards experiences is what creates duality in the sense of like us judging a situation as good and bad instead of observing it. Realizing how much, for myself, is a constant work, like realizing how that good and bad subconscious programming still exists on a subtle level, when I'm doing certain things. And that judgment is what constantly creates a certain experience for me. And with that being said, like I realized, so say for instance earlier, I was going to get some food and I was looking for, like, man, let me get some fruits or vegetables, something a little more healthy, and I was like, nah, I was craving the bean chips and hummus, in which, I get the, the healthiest version of that, but you see me like coughing because like I don't know, lately I've been fasting, so any little food kind of creating some little mucus movement. But this vibe where I got the bean chips and the hummus, bean chips, organic, not a lot of salt, basically plain simple ingredients. But my mind was kind of this vibe like, oh no, that's bad. Like, you don't get them chips and that kind of like that, don't get the processed food, it's bad. Now, of course, it may not be the healthiest thing for me, compared to those other things, but I shouldn't take it to that judgmental place of looking at it as bad. Because once I do that, then I'm creating, these experiences, basically like lesson loops, where I'm gonna constantly create a separation or duality. So what happens with that is, because I consider that bad, whenever I go to shopping, I create an indecisiveness. I'm indecisive because now I created good and bad within me. So now when I'm picking out groceries, instead of just, being one and bringing the, balancing the mind, body, and soul, and bringing the higher self and lower nature, balancing it and observing, my experience and not judging my experience. Because when you're judging your experience, that's when you're creating, in essence, that dualistic nature within yourself. That's when indecisiveness come in, and this is a very key aspect, and again, where I see how my videos help in the essence where, I see it firsthand and undeniable. I go through it myself, and, and having the humility, of course, like, again, that's why I always say I'm always on my growth. I'm not the perfect sentient being of all the perfect, and I don't do nothing wrong, and I always, nah, that ain't me, and much love and blessings to those who stand in that confidence, with as if, kind of feeling that vibe of like, knowing everything they're talking about. But just that aspect, again, noticing it within my little grocery store run, where I'm was about to judge that situation as bad, like, oh man, that's bad, you don't want to eat that. It's like, nah, and I caught myself and laughed. I'm like, nope. I'm like, there ain't nothing wrong with this. I'm like, observe, this is not as healthy as the other option I was going for, but neither good or bad. Again, I brought up a while back, like talking about following impulses, and an impulse might have you to, deal with something that your conscious mind would have thought like, oh no, I wouldn't deal with that. I don't want to deal with that. Spirit is not like we've been in this human form and dealing with our egoic mind for so long. We forgot how to truly operate like gods in essence. That's what we're doing right now. Matter of fact, and one of the most important things to our spiritual growth, and mark me on this one, like, cause I see a trend too where people who get deep into speaking on these aspects, you know, or should I say the people in the mainstream don't emphasize the importance of this. So that kind of points to the importance of this, because they allowed to be on that mainstream. Not saying they along with the government or none of that just because, but you know, they allowed to have that mainstream vibe because they going with the flow of the things, you know. But what I was gonna say is breaking down the Kabbalah, aka the tree of life or the tree of good and evil. Matter of fact, and getting into the Kalipoff, in essence, is like the other side, or quote unquote dark side of the tree of life, and dealing with, you know, having the Sephirat Da'ath. You know, Da'ath stands for knowledge, and in Hebrew it means, you know, knowledge, the gnosis, you know. And we talk about gnosis and Gnostic papers. So dealing with the Gnostic papers, so look up the Nag Hammadi Gnostic papers, or the Jung Codex, which is the Gnostic papers that Carl Jung, somebody just kind of gifted Carl Jung these Gnostic papers. But and then also so astrology, a matter of fact, when I say the Gnostic paper, that mean not only the Nag Hammadi, but also the Book of Enoch and the Apocrypha. So the Book of Enoch, the Apocrypha, the Nag Hammadi, you know, those Gnostic Gnostic Christian scriptures, and again, astrology, you know, the deep depths into astrology, you know, like really looking at how, like, almost like be real with you, like astrology and astronomy almost mixed together, almost like the astrotheology in essence. So really, like, you know, looking at the symbols, and matter of fact, how Gnostic texts correlate with it. But again, if I could just name it three: astrology, you know, dealing with the Kabbalah, and Gnostic texts. You know, you deal with those three areas strongly, because I'm realizing how much I passed over that early in my growth. Like, of course, I kind of brushed over it enough to know a little bit, but you know, now it's seeing it's game time right now, and it's time to get down to the nitty gritty. Always been, you know, now always been to vibrate, but you know, definitely, you know, pointing to and dealing with the things that really work and really help, you know. And I've been, you know, consorting with spirit, you know, heavily. As a matter of fact, is, you know, whether, you know, people don't have to believe in my energy to connect with, you know, with higher self and different spirits and energies, but you know, that's what my studies and everything just been kind of like, hey, the Gnostic text. Matter of fact, breaking down the relationship of Pistis Sophia, you know, because Pistis Sophia represent that triple darkness over the tree of life, and we talk about the triple darkness in connection with you know, Tiamat, Leviathan, you know, Set, you know, which Set, you know, his mom could be seen as Apep, but then when you come to the new dynasty, they got Set fighting Apep for Ra, protecting Ra from Apep, basically like protecting this new deity from his mama, you know what I'm saying? But one man's God is another man's devil. When the new dynasty came in, as a matter of fact, Set also connected to the Sirius energy. And another name for it in Greek is Sothis, S-O-T-H-I-S. But you know, getting deeper into these Gnostic texts, and even still dealing with you know, the Bible and stuff like that. If you're gonna deal with just the Bible, but honestly, I ain't even gonna go there. Like these Gnostic texts, you know what I'm saying? Because again, that's what Carl Jung get this archetype, you know. And then the top, you got the four. Matter of fact, shout out to A.A. Rashid, in which I'm in the process of, you know, doing more learning. So I'm not speaking from a teaching aspect, but just more so, matter of fact, relaying a message from what he spoke on. I know how, you know, well versed he is in that subject, but basically the importance of the four different worlds or layers within the tree of life. You know, they got different layers within it. And again, this is just a quick video about something else, and I'm bringing this up because, you know, it's on the, I want to say on the mind, but more so, you know, within the soul and in the spirit right now. You know, it's to definitely speak up about, you know, getting deeper into these Gnostic texts. You know, that Carl Jung Codex, he got a book called A Red Book. And you got this, I forgot this other book named 7 Sermons. Matter of fact, let me see something right quick. Might be able to pull it out of my book sack right quick. Since I went in depth, I'm waiting for this bus, so y'all, this bus might pull up and I'll just have to stop this video out the blue. But I mostly said the part I wanted to say about, again, being judgmental on our experience. Throws off the energy, creates that duality within us. Just right quick, those 4 worlds. What it is, Absolute, Bria, Yetzirah, and Asaya. At the top is the archetypical world, the creative world, the formative world, and the active world. Within the tree. And the Brethren talk about the importance of breaking that down. But again, and you see the connection with the Gnostic papers, and you see like the connection with Enki and Lil's story. Like basically where there's a story that, like how they be let there be light and this and that. It's like shit, they had all kind of texts that happened way before that, that kind of predates and tells you what was happening before that, you know what I'm saying, like in essence, before that Genesis moment. And again, you had the 2 Nicaea councils that took away these important texts, tried to turn the Christ energy into a historic figure, because you'll see once you start to kind of read and tap into these texts that it would be impossible for them to make Christ a historic figure if these other texts was in the Bible like they should be, And the reason why we don't have all these texts, for one, that's what all the wars was about, and raiding these different areas. So, the reason why we may have to, because I always speak on you want to go as far as possible. But, in those cases, that's where, they was working on trying to destroy that history, so they kind of got, so say, for instance, why we not referencing like, oh, these are Kemetic books or this and that, because, again, a lot of those texts, was destroyed in some way, form, or fashion. And plus, when you go further back, and which that wasn't that long ago, when you go a little further back, though, we were so, and we are, well, we're getting back there, but we were so connected that we didn't use books and all that to pass down knowledge anyway. You know what I'm saying? Again, realizing how much somebody done brainwash everybody to see themselves like the lowest form of themselves is, oh, this is normal. Like, no, this is not. We all are capable of more than what you see, more than what you were told, like the superheroes and all that from comic books, all these stories. What's funny is people would rather believe the stories that, like the outrageous stories that keep them locked up. So like people would rather believe Noah got all kind of animals onto one boat than believe that God lives within them, and that they were bamboozled by some people to make them think, that they were less than what they are. People would rather believe that, or deal with stuff like, oh yeah, Jesus walked on water, or he brought Lazarus from the dead, and you want to, when it's benefit, looking at these little quote unquote amazing things when it's beneficial to your brainwashing, but not when it's actually opening you up to the real and true bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, that was amazing how he got all those, but that was an allegory. But then when I tell you about how your mind, all is mind, and your thoughts control your thoughts influence, the external realm and matter, speak on the energy of chakras and stuff like that. Oh, that's crazy right there. A chakra? No, but I believe that Noah got all them animals on the boat though. I digress, man. Just making sure though we loving ourselves, not judgmental towards ourselves in general, and not being judgmental again in our experience at all. Like observing, and more so not pointing out or trying to claim something to be good or bad. This situation is good, this situation is bad. That situation is what it is. Things could be either hot or cold. Cold is not better than hot, hot not better than cold. It's all about your preference. but I go to creating guilt, and I go to creating, again, a dual nature. I'm splitting myself into two whenever I'm like, oh, well, no, cold is good and hot is bad, So now I'm gonna constantly have this war going on inside of me where, like, I'm gonna feel like I'm doing something wrong if I come across some warm water, or some hot water because I said it was bad, So just realizing, and again, it's a constant growth. I'm not saying this stuff is like, oh, piece of cake, but at the same time, it's not impossible or extremely hard to where you can't do it either. It just takes, again, that constant work. We've been in the habit of being brainwashed for, some of us, a little older than others. So some of us, got a little more of that brainwashing. Some of y'all a little fresher, and it's gonna be easier for you to switch up. But some of us been, whether it's still that strong connection from past lives and even being on this earthly plane, this existence, all that habitual, that unhealthy habitual natures, It's like taking it to a place of constantly, working on these things to where it becomes easy. Like the more, it's just like playing a sport or working out, the more you do it, the more you practice on the jump shot, the wetter it get, you know what I'm saying? The more you practice on your crossover, you practice on your tennis swing, your golf swing, whatever it is, The more you practice, the better you're gonna get. The more you practice with your tantric abilities, get better. Definitely just wanted to share that right quick. Peace. Happy now. Now is the vibrates. We're not going too far in the future. We're not going too far in the past. Right now. Right now.